So if you're watching this episode right when it comes out, it's probably chaos time for you. It is the holiday season, and there's parties, there's presents, there's holiday parties, there's end of year trying to get everything done before the end of the year. There's getting everything started for next year. There is,
if you have kids, there's all the things with them at the end of the school.
I think we have a Christmas,
and then into the holiday break when they're out of school, and you got to figure out what are you going to do with them.
Yeah, all this stuff. And I think we have a Christmas play or music or something. I don't know, something we're going to go to and have to be a part of, because if we don't, he's going to cry. But that means it is chaos. I know you guys probably have watched this in the beginning and said, that's too much, I need to turn this off. Stick with us, because we want to give you some calm in the midst of this chaos.
So welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast. We believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, you need wealth wisdom. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and comment below. Let us know what's bringing you chaos this holiday season, or how you're coping with the chaos. We're all looking for tips. Please share them.
Right.
And we got some for you too.
Yeah, we have a few tips, and we're going to take us back we have this time machine that we use sometimes, and we're going to go in the way back machine.
This time, not so far,
but we're going to talk about chaos theory.
Yeah, which is a more recent phenomenon. But I remember my introduction to chaos theory, the very first time I heard about chaos theory, I don't remember another time before this. It was watching Jurassic Park. So
scientific movie.
Yeah, totally. And Jeff Goldblum, thank you, I remembered his name this time. He has this scene there where he's trying to explain chaos theory to the lady sitting in the car with him. I have no idea what her name is, because I'm just horrible with actors' names and actresses' names. But he's like flirting with her, and he's holding her hand, and they drop a drip of water, and it goes one direction. And then he says, well, what if I drop that same drop of water from the same height on the same spot? Where do you think it'll go? And she, of course, says the same place it went before, and it goes a totally different way. The idea is that there's all these microscopic things that change the direction of the drip of water. Some people are famous when they think of chaos theory, they think of the butterfly effect. A butterfly could flap its wings in Texas, and it causes a hurricane or a tsunami halfway around the world. It's actually a meteorological, try to say that 10 times fast, phenomenon. And actually, my favorite definition I found of a chaos theory comes from a meteorologist and a mathematician. His name is Edward Lorenz. And there's like a Lorenz effect. It's named after him.
His name is not Ian Malcolm. That's from the movie Jurassic Park.
Oh.
That's his name.
Oh, that's Jeff Goldblum's character name? Okay. Anyway.
Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Thank you. But anyway, Edward Lorenz defines chaos as, quote, when the present determines the future, but the approximate present does not approximately determine the future. So it means you can get a good idea of the future from the present, right? There's only so many places that we can go, or like things that can happen long term, but you can't get the approximate future. Like you can't know what's going to happen in the next moment from this moment. Kind of like if I dripped 1 million drips on my hand, there's a plate, like a field they can go in, and maybe I can predict with a high degree of certainty how often it's going to go this way versus that way, and get some probabilities there. But knowing I'm about to drip this drop and knowing where it's going to go exactly, I can't know that, right? No. So that's chaos theory. So how does this apply to what we're dealing with the holidays, and then of course with money?
Yeah. But before we get into this drawing that Amanda's going to do, don't forget, put a comment below, put a meme of Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum, I don't know, not the fly one version, but the Jeff Goldblum version of the Jurassic Park. And in preparation
for the statue that he has. Yeah.
In preparation for this episode, that was the fly version statue.
Oh, okay.
And we did watch some of Jurassic Park, because of course
You got to
for
do your
chaos
homework.
theory, you got to be ready. So we did watch a little Jurassic Park in advance. So
Yeah.
anyway, Amanda,
That is maybe not how to find some still in the midst of the chaos this holiday season, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
Who knows? Let's first talk about what is chaos. What is our definition of chaos? Love Lorenz, but how would we define what financial chaos looks like and holiday chaos too? Here we go.
So we've thought about chaos a lot in our business, running a brick and mortar coffee shop. Chaos can happen a lot, right? So what is chaos? It's not just the holidays. There is so much more, and it's not just taxes.
Yeah, and I wrote it in red so that we got to actually address what's real about chaos.
Right.
Brandon, talk about the C.
Yeah, so the C, it is confusing. Anybody ever tried to figure out, taxes? It's hard to figure it out. That's why you have to have certain people on your team that understand how to read a tax code. So there's confusion. There is going to the Target or wherever. And then again, this is part of doing Christmas shopping. How do we overcome that? And we could bring our son, or we have a son, right? We can bring him to the store and say, hey, let's have fun. He can be totally confused. We can be totally confused. No one likes confusion.
Yep. And that's like the root of chaos is let's confuse people.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll make more money if they're confused. Now let's talk about
like the financial system.
Yeah, let's talk about H and the shopping system. Yeah.
H, it is haphazard, meaning we just put one thing here, one thing there. It is just kind of hodgepodge together to figure it out. Haphazard. That is spelled wrong, but she got it wrong.
I just started typing it or writing it wrong.
Yeah. Haphazard.
With money, we go through our financial lives. We pick up this thing, we pick up that thing, and we end up with a big pile of financial products. We don't know why we have them or how. Might look like the gifts under a Christmas tree, right? A whole bunch of haphazard mess. There's all kinds of things you end up buying more because you're not, you're just buying at random different things, right? Yeah. Well, I've been there, done that, totally. And then, so you're confused. So then you go all haphazard and then you're sitting there thinking, holy cow, what did I just do? And that causes a lot of A.
That is anxiety. So we don't like that. I mean, sometimes anxiety is helpful, maybe a little bit, but anxiety. And I think that there's a lot of people, if you've watched this or listening to this episode, you're already feeling a little anxious right now because you're like, oh man, there's so much. Why am I watching this video when I need to go buy my kids
or plan a party or get busy on my work goals? Apply this to all the things, right? Yeah. We start with confusion. We end up going all haphazard because we're confused, and then we just look at what we're looking at and we start to feel anxious. How did we get here? What is going on?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Stick with us here because we are going to give you an
antidote.
Right, to get out of it.
But okay, now we're sitting there in this anxiety and we're trying to think, how do I get out of this hole that I'm digging? We don't stop digging. Instead, we get into O.
Yeah, we are overwhelmed. We just say, oh, well, I'm just gonna not do anything. And so we stay in this overwhelmed state, right? And then we come back, 10 years later or whatever and say, wait, I'm still here. How did I get here? Or it's worse, right? So we're overwhelmed, I feel like I watch sometimes Hoarders and I'm like, wow, these guys are in chaos. They are overwhelmed and they cannot get rid of their stuff.
Right. It's so super overwhelming. And of course, the holiday season, the end of the year, there's lots of overwhelming things in there. I took off the ED because it's not a past state. It's a current state. Overwhelm is real. So we're sitting there, we were confused. So we built haphazard, we feel all anxious and we're overwhelmed with all the things that we could do, but we're not sure which to do to get out of the situation that we're in. And so then we just fall deeper and deeper into S.
Yeah, which is stress. Now, sometimes there's good stress, but oftentimes in this regard, it's a lot of bad stress, right? again, watching Hoarders or things like that, I'm like, wow, I feel less stressed when I watch that show, because I'm like, man, it's not me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we have other tendencies of
Yes,
that, but
not me.
anyway, so that is chaos. That is the holiday season. And that's how a lot of people live their lives. And sometimes it's by design. You go into a store and we're like, oh, wow, I can't, it's too much. And we just opt out, right? Or something.
So let's draw a line in the sand and say, instead of chaos, let's find a different way, a more fulfilling way, a more joyful way to do life, to do the holidays, to do money, to do all the things. Here's what we've come up with as our joyful way. Before we get to it, let's draw that line in the sand.
Line in the sand is coming, right? So you're going to see that here. Eventually the line is there. So we have that line in the sand. Now, for you guys, this is how we think through this. And again, as we are building this business, as we are thinking through this, we want to help people have less chaos and go into a better place. Yeah.
So we're going to apply this to gift giving to our son. We have a little guy, he's 5 years old. Hi, I know you might watch this. And we're going to talk about how we addressed all the chaos that we could be in giving him gifts under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning, both from us and from other person. And how we are going about doing it in a way that's not going to cause us all these things of chaos. Here's what we literally did. The first thing was, there was this catalog thing that came from a major online retailer in our mailbox. We didn't ask for it. It just showed up. But it gave me a brilliant idea. I handed it to him one day when I was trying to cook dinner. And I said, look through this and circle anything that you would like for Christmas. And he circled a lot of things. There was too many things that he circled. So there were these little stickers in there that I gave him, and I told him, find the favorite things that you just saw and add a sticker next to the things you circled that are your favorites. And of course, there's a limited number of stickers he had to choose. So what I was asking him to do was what we call set your sights. I'm going to write that down.
So again, we love acronyms. So the first part is set your sights. If you don't have a goal, right? And again, I'm talking to people on their financial journeys. Oftentimes they haven't set their sights of where they want to go, where they want to be in 5 years, or in general, and tomorrow even. So set your sights. This isn't just about money, but it's in all areas of your life when it comes to our health at the gym, or eating, or any of that stuff. Set your sights. This is going to be a great episode that you're going to want to for sure re-listen to in January, of course, because we all make our, what are those resolutions? Yeah, don't do that. Instead, do what we're teaching you right now. So setting your sights. So we had our son do that, and you could, you got children, or even for yourself or your significant other, ask, like, what's on your list? You make me a list, right? Give me some ideas. That's an idea. Now, I then sat down with that list, and I took the things that he had put a sticker on, or that I liked that he circled that I thought were good ideas too, and I put them into a wish list in that major online retailer's app on my phone. And that wish list could be shared with grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. And so that wish list is there, and that allowed us to see, okay, here's what he wants, but here's also what, kind of filtering a little bit, deciding what we would want to. And we are calling that in this acronym is tracking your in and out. So Brandon, talk about how that applies a little bit to money. Yeah. So a lot of times, again, people don't realize where they're spending or what they're doing. So you want to track it, again, like kind of like the gym, you want to track your workouts or track the things that are important to you. So for us, we know kind of how much we have as a maximum, but we need to track how much are we spending? What are the good things? What are the he's not gonna get everything on the list.
Right. Actually, and that's me filtering some of that. He set aside, but he is not getting a video game console at 5 years old. Maybe in a few years he will, but we don't want him to get sucked into that world yet. And so that I just kept that off the list.
Yep. So track your in and out. That is a big part. So that's the ST in the method.
Yep. Now, here's what we love to do. We're big fans of themes. So like one year when he was little, he didn't have a lot of winter gear yet. So we got a bunch of outside winter gear to enjoy that great outdoors over the winter. It was a theme underneath the Christmas tree. It was totally fun for us, fun for him, right? Everything kind of tied together. And that's where now we can take what we put on that list, right? There's too much on that list. There's too many things. We can inspect to see, what is he really going to be like? I got this one thing that's like the gift that's going to make the difference. And then what else could we get to like go with that to even heighten and amplify what he's getting? And that kind of intentionality there, we call that inspecting your progress. And then also part of that too is we can take, here's what that online retailer charges. Now let's look at all the other places that we could get this, maybe somewhere local, somewhere that we have a coupon for, different things like that, to do a little bit of comparison to see what could we save money on as well. So we're just kind of inspecting what's the game plan, putting together all that.
Yeah, so write that, inspect your progress. Something I've learned as inspecting our progress is, well, our son loves number blocks. I think we got that 2 years ago.
And last year, he keeps building his number block.
Yeah, and he loves that. And so probably our theme might go still with the number thing, because he still plays with those all the time.
Yeah,
so,
and he loves math. You're supposed to talk about money, though.
Yeah, so inspecting our progress when it comes to our finances is, again, looking at it, tracking it, and then inspecting what is that part. Is it actually bringing us joy? Is it helping us along our journey to be able to then say, what do I need to cut? What do I need to grow in? Inspecting it is really important.
Yeah. Then we might actually find, here's what we're going to buy. Here's what's going to be under the tree. And we're going to look for ways to make it that little bit extra for him, like that little surprise, what's going to be unexpected. And we don't have to go over the top. We can make it something that, because we're being so intentional here, we can make it something small that has a big impact to it. And what I love to do is think of what's like the small adjustment that seems too easy, that then has a big impact in terms of how much joy it brings or how much it can change a future. So we call this look for the micro adjustment.
Yeah. So L is look for the micro adjustments, or the 1%, the little adjustments over time. I think those things matter, and it's moving from chaos to those 1% adjustments, that little adjustments that help us to have a life to the full, a life that we love, right?
Yeah.
So
can you guess what the last letter is now?
And can you see from chaos to something else?
Yep, to still.
The next one is live deliberately.
And this is where we actually have to go get the things, make it happen, do it intentionally. And we're not confused then when we enter the store, or we're not buying haphazard things. We're not feeling less anxious because we're coming in with what's actually he's going to like, what we've already filtered in, how we've already done some of the research. We're not going to be maybe a little bit of overwhelmed, but not super overwhelmed with the whole process, and for sure a lot less stress-free. So any parents buying gifts for kiddos this year, maybe you can try it, see if it works for you. But especially when it comes to money, this is a very different way to approach, where you're setting your sights, you're taking some time to figure out what you want. Then you're tracking, how are things going right now? Then you're inspecting, how things are going right now with my tracking, getting me closer or further from my sights? How would I might want to adjust my sights to match better with what's real? And then looking for the micro adjustment, what is that change you can make to get how things are going closer to where you've set your sights? And then live deliberately, actually doing it. And what this brings is a lot more empowerment and encouragement and joy and fulfillment and all those things as you approach money. So how do you learn how to do still when it comes to money? First of all, what I want to emphasize is that it might seem like you don't have the time to do what we're talking about, even if it's with gift giving with your little ones or with your spouse or with your parents or, or planning that holiday party,
busy, right?
Getting to your goals. You just got to buckle down and do it. Who has time to actually sit and reflect and figure out what you're going to do? And what I've found is that cliche that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure is transformative when it comes to this. Taking a little bit of time aside to dream, to plan, to figure out what's the little thing I could do that would make a big difference, then saves a lot of time, saves a lot of energy, and of course, results in a way less chaos than if we hadn't have done that. Now, not everything's going to work out perfectly, right? Chaos theory, the drip still goes the wrong way or the way you didn't think it was going to go, but there's a lot less chaos when you take that time beforehand.
Yeah, I think there's a thing called thinking time that somebody mentions in that book called The Road Less Stupid, right? It's interesting. So having that thinking time, being able to set your sights is really, really helpful.
And if that's all you did, it's probably going to be even helpful.
Yeah, to be able to just sit and maybe write for 5 minutes, I don't know, 10 minutes, whatever it is. So in that, we have said, all right, we were in a business that was very chaotic. Lots of things happened all the time. And how do we move into a place that gives us peace, especially in the holiday season? We're supposed to have peace and joy, not chaos. Right? We want to have that kind of place. So what we created for us or for you is this book, 5 Smooth Stones. So in the book, there are so many things that are there. Amanda, walk through some of the little charts and pieces and why you created this kind of theme.
Yeah, and this episode's already getting kind of long, but this is not meant to be a sales pitch, but this is available. And we also know that it has the power to transform financial futures. And so we'll share with you where you can get this. And of course, the link's going to be below as well. But here's actually literally opening it up. It goes through at the very beginning a little bit of our story and a welcome. And then there's the journey roadmap where we talk a little bit about what you can expect. Here's the chaos, the what if, where we talk a little bit more about how that applies to money. And then when you're ready to jump in, we got some activities, some exercises for you. But then the 5 stones, it says introduction to stone 1, set your sights, where we have information about what that can look like. And then tracking your in and out, same thing, some information about that. Then inspecting your progress. Nice thick pages. I almost thought I was turning 2 pages. We got no bleed, very thick paper here.
Someone actually
look for the micro adjustment.
Yeah, someone said to us when they got the book that they were yelled at. They said, "You're writing in the library book," and they realized it was their journal.
Yeah. And then look for the micro adjustment and then live deliberately. And then we help you put it all together. And then set your sights for the journey. We're going to let the journey begin. And then each week we have a little, here's a kind of a thing to reflect on, to grow in learning. Here's how you can then work that into your life with some activities. And then we go through and actually help you set your sights, track your in and out, inspect your progress, look for the micro adjustments, live deliberately that week. Or if it takes you a couple weeks to get through that, right? You can go at your own pace. And then we got week 2 where it repeats the same thing. And then some places, a midpoint check-in, some things at the end. The invitation here is to find the time to step away from the crowd, step away from the chaos, find your still, calm center, take some steps to avoid the confusion, the haphazardness, the anxiety, the overwhelm, and the stress, and then move forward and re-engage from that place, that still place. This is available at wealthwisdomfp.com/shop, SHOP. If you're catching this episode, there might be a coupon code there too. So look for that when you get to the site.
Yeah. So again, 5 Smooth Stones, check it out. Get that book. Go into the new year with peace and calm, right? Don't be living in chaos and in confusion, right? We don't want that. If anything, we're seeing the stats on those areas going up, right? And as far as confusion and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to be a place of peace, right? And we want you to experience that. So this is an amazing tool that we use on the regular every month, where we go through that ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So
we put it in here weekly so you could get your reps in, get some practice with it, and then it's something that you can engage with throughout the rest of your life. The whole idea is that this is a methodology, a system that could be used, right? This one right here, the S.T.I.L.L method, that can be used whether you're just starting to engage with money for the first time, or you've been engaging and it's not working and you want to find a new way to engage. And as you build your wealth, to re-engage with money whenever you're ready. So again, that's available at wealthwisdomfp.com/shop. For those of you here all the way at the end of the episode, I'll give you a heads up. For the folks that purchased this in December or previously, if you've already gotten your copy, we have an invitation to join a cohort in the new year to go through these 12 weeks together. We're going to be sharing more about that in future episodes, but the way to actually be part of the cohort is to get the book, because we're going to go through what's in here and do the activities in the same 12 weeks together. So you get that extra encouragement, that extra empowerment. Again, you have to get the book to find out how you get access to the cohort. And we might share some more details on the podcast about that in the future. So hit subscribe so you don't miss the future episodes. And then go on over to our website and purchase your copy today. And the shipping is free, but we also offer you to upgrade to priority shipping. If you're watching this and it's getting a little too close to the holidays, you want to give it to as a gift to someone, we'll rush it to you as soon as we can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching. Remember, live long and profit, and enjoy this season. Don't just be living in the chaos, but enjoy it, and hope that you have peace and still in the midst of the chaos. The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purpose of providing legal, investment, or accounting advice on such matters. Please consult a professional who knows your specific situation. And also, be ready for a great holiday season.
Happy holidays!